You know, a man's always has to know his limitations. Folks, let's talk today about the Harley Davidson servicing of your motorcycles. Let's get started. Hey folks, welcome back my friends once again to HarleyDayRider, your good old friend HDR, and I am out here today on my lovely 2018 Road Glide Ultra. And where am I heading this early morning on a cloudy, overcast, rainy day? Well, I'm hoping I don't get rained on. I do have my rain gear just in case, because it is a really good possibility I'm going to be riding home in the rain. Anyway, with that said, so yeah, welcome back everybody. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. I see the subscription count going up there, and that's a wonderful thing, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I truly appreciate you coming aboard. To all those that's been faithful and standing beside me all these years, and you subscribe to the channel, thank you for hanging in there. And I am wrapping in some interesting content here lately and trying to bring some new enjoyment to the channel. So as I opened there with, you know, a man's got to know his limitations. And what I mean by that is, and you may be a much better, and I'm sure you are a better mechanic than I am. Many of you know that I do basically my own maintenance on the motorcycles. So what I do is, I would suggest to have an owner's manual. I mean a shop manual or whatever they call it. Have a manual for your motorcycle. I would suggest that. Because then you know what has to be done at what intervals. That's very important. Because not everything needs checked at every interval, okay? So it's very critical that you know these things. So I opened up the handy dandy manual. Right now I'm at, let's see if we can see this on the camera. We can see that. Can you see that? 30,445 miles. So now I know you're gonna be saying, hey, HarleyDayRider, you're over, buddy. What's wrong with you? There's something, you got a screw loose? Well, I don't actually like doing my services less than miles. And I went to a meetup recently and I was gone for 4 days. And I was calculating out about how many miles I would ride, and I figured that when I came home it would be close to 30,000. Well, we rode just a little bit more than that, and I took it over 30, which is okay. I'm a little bit over, all right? So anyway, I told Miss HDR, I said, look, I'm going to go out there on whatever day it was last week, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever, and I'm going to do the service on the motorcycle. I'm going to, you know, change the oil and change the primary, because my primary and my transmission, guys, I rotate them. Even though I use synthetic, I do change the oil every 5,000 miles, but I change the transmission every 10, and I change the primary every 10. So I rotate those either or when I do an oil change. Okay, so I get my handy dandy manual out, and I'm like, okay, great, I got my manual here, and I'm looking through what I need to do for this service. Well, it came to this point, like, I don't know, the 4th or 5th thing down on there, and you're reading like this needs done, that needs done, this needs done, that needs done, whatever. So I'm reading down through and it says steering wheel bearings need to be inspected and re-greased. And I'm like, steering wheel bearings? I know they're somewhere in the neck, right? Somewhere in the column, and I've watched YouTube videos since I've seen that. And I'm like, wow, that is really involved, how to do that. And also it said I needed my belt checked and adjusted, okay, the drive belt. Now, I'm an oil change guy, right? Many of you see me, I've put a lot of lights on this motorcycle. I could do electrical work pretty well, right? Most of that's plug and play. What the heck? There's a turkey. And they say turkeys don't fly. Look, it's flying. Ha ha. You gotta watch this. This is a really dangerous road here for game, that's for sure. My wife and I actually hit a deer one night right here, I think it is. Let me see. Maybe at the top of this hill. We were coming back from the store one day in the car, and we crested the top of this hill and came down, and a deer ran right out in front of us. And luckily we had a CRV, so we ran over the deer, and I know it's not lucky for the deer, but it was lucky for our automobile. It didn't really get damaged, so we were okay. All right. All right, let's get back to this this interesting note here. So with that said, I'm looking and I start watching YouTube videos. I'm thinking, okay, first of all, do I have the tools to do this? No, I don't have the tools to pull bearings. I don't have that. Do I know how to adjust a belt? No, I don't. Now, can you watch YouTube videos, folks, and learn this stuff? Sure, you can. If you're confident enough in your mechanical skills, then by all means go for it. I know a lot of you are out there, but for me, I am not. For me to tear the front of this bike apart, it may never go back together. So I ended up calling multiple times my independent guy, and you know, he's a one-guy garage. He is a Harley certified technician. He used to work for a local Harley dealer, so he knows his way around the bikes. He's been taking care of this bike now for probably the past 2 years, and anything I'm not going to be able to do, I told him I will call him and see if he will do it for me. So he said, hey, no problem at all, HDR, man, I would be more than happy to do that for you. He said, you're right, 30,000 miles, you got to do those bearings, and you have to do that drive belt. That's very important. And I found out from Doc Harley, right? No, Doc Harley? Doc Holiday. You know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I'll put the name up here once I find it. I was watching his videos, and he says a lot of guys that do their own maintenance neglect things like the bearings, the drive belts, the thing that's going to keep you safe on the road, guys. You know, so I would highly suggest, I would almost say that I'm going to stand on the soapbox and say, I would highly recommend, not even recommend, I would tell you to go get a manual, right? There is a Facebook page, and actually one of my buddies, Bodine, sent it to me years ago. There's a Facebook page where you just type in your motorcycle and you can download the whole PDF manual for your bike, so you don't have to buy it, all right? Or go to the Harley shop. If you want to support them, I think that's fantastic. Go buy yourself a manual. You have to know what needs checked on your bike outside of doing an oil change, okay? Oil change is good for the engine, and that's why I changed mine with synthetic every 5,000 miles. Even though it's good for 10, the only thing I can tell you there is I have a cushion. So I know right now I'm a little bit over that 5,000 miles from my last service, but I know I'm not hurting the engine because it's good for 10 anyway. But I do like to get it changed anyhow, just to really protect that motor the best I can. So, with that said, I am going to try to get some video today. If my man lets me do any down here, we'll see how that goes. And if he lets me do any of that, I'll put some of the video in here, what he's doing. If nothing else, I'll get some pictures of the bike being tore down. And we'll see how long that takes. But I'm planning on staying with it. Mrs. HDR is a phone call away. She said, hey, if it's going to take him all day, call me. I'll come get you. And then we'll go back home, and I'll pick it up whenever I can pick it up. I mean, that's not a big deal either, but... All right, let me see here if we can get some video footage of my man working on my motorcycle. Well, she's up on the lift and ready to go here. So you see the bike's up on the rack. Got the primary opened up. Got the oil filter out. Check the tire pressures. I'm going to do the steering wheel bearings. Getting ready for the trip. Cleaning the air cleaner out, checking all that out. All the plugs opened up, drain plugs. There we go. It's good to bring your motorcycle into a shop to get it serviced. He's going over everything on his bike to make sure it's safe. Okay guys, well thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know in the comments below, do you know your limitations? Do you have any limitations? Are you one of those guys like my man Road Glad Andy? He just says, hey, If it comes apart, it has to go back together. But he is a certified mechanic, and he's not afraid to do that, to turn a wrench on anything. So I get weirded out by it. But let me know in the comments below what your thought process is with that, and how you handle that stuff. You know, do you do your own services? Do you just say, you know what, I got every tool in the world, but I just feel more comfortable having somebody else do it? I feel that way too, guys. I'm not immune to that. I'm a computer guy. I am not a mechanic, and I know my limitations. So let me know below in the comments. Until then, as I always tell you guys, remember, ride your own ride. Be safe out there, huh? HarleyDayRider will be down and out. Your good old friend HDR here will be down and out in the overcast skies in southwestern Pennsylvania, thinking he might get wet today. All right, ride safe, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye-bye for now.